All right, INC, how are you doing out there? You ready to get started? Woohoo! Beautiful. We are here today creating something momentous and monumental. 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this moment of how we came together over these few days, and we're going to realize that we've created something that's even bigger than we realized. And each of us who are here right now get to say that we were here in the room. Yes, exactly. So, before I take a moment to introduce the speakers who are going to be here this morning with you, I want to take a moment to introduce the most important person who's here, and that's you, all right? And so I want to take a moment to just have all of us just put your hands on your heart or your body. A lot of you, I want to acknowledge, took a lot to get here. You purchased a ticket, maybe you got, a sitter for the kids or your furry friends, you've got a flight, you had a hotel, you had to take a lot of things to get here today, and I want to acknowledge you for all of that you did. And I want you to just let all of that go for a moment and really let yourself sink into being here right now. And I want to invite you to just receive a breath. And we're going to do that all together in a moment, and the invitation is when you take that breath, that on the way out, you let out some kind of sound that lets us all know that you're here. All right, so we're going to inhale on 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. We're so glad that you are here. Now, out of all of the things that you can do while you're here over the next few days, the amazing lunches, the networking, the speakers, the panels, the film fest, so much that we have going on for you, the number one thing that you can do is to connect with each other, right? And it can be a little bit intimidating when you're in a crowd of people and some strangers, you don't know them. It's a little easier if you're here with someone to stick with them. But the biggest thing that can create the movement that we're seeking to create is when we all get connected to each other. So I want to share with you a very simple trick that I use, that I teach all over the world to help you start a conversation with anyone that you meet. You want to learn it? Yes? Okay, beautiful. So I call it the 3-word intro. And it's very simple. You go up to someone, you make some eye contact, you put out your hand, and you say, "Hi, I'm Jaymin." Of course, you're going to replace your name with my name. You can try being Jaymin for a while and let me know how that goes. So let's practice this right now. I want you to just find someone around the room who's next to you, put out your hand, and introduce yourself. Go ahead and do it with 2 or 3 people. Beautiful. Yep, move around, find somebody new. Amazing. All right, beautiful. Bring it back, folks. Bring it back. Now, this is a tool that you can continue to use all throughout the days that we're here together. If you see someone in line at lunch, going into a session that you're going into, the session's about to begin, turn to your side, put out your hand, and use that 3-word introduction to introduce yourself. Because the way that we create a movement, the way that we create a community is by connecting with each other. Now, you might be thinking, all right, who is this guy on stage? So my name is Jaymin Patel, and I have a kind of funny story. You see, when I was 24 years old, I became one of the top 5% of earners in the U.S., 25 and up. And I had earned 3 degrees from prestigious universities, full-ride scholarships, and purchased a condo in downtown, a beautiful car, and I was living this life that looked pretty great. But I knew on the inside that it was at best mediocre. And it really came to head for me when I attended an event that changed my life. And that event happened out in the deserts of Nevada, and it was called Burning Man. Any burners in here? Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Going to Burning Man changed the trajectory of my entire life, and it gave me permission to understand that there was something new and different that I could do for myself. So I left behind my job in management consulting and went on to go and learn the path of personal development. I became a coach. I wrote 8 books. I became a speaker and started traveling around the world to Harvard Business School, London School of Economics, the TEDx stage, and now here at the INC 2024. Yes. Now, in that same way, even though we live in a beautiful nation full of beautiful people, and many people might think that the government is working for them and is doing pretty good, I'm pretty sure that every person in this room can agree that it is probably mediocre at best. And in the same way that Burning Man was that event that changed the trajectory of my career, I know that INC 2024 is going to be that event that changes the trajectory of what our government will experience over the years to come. And that's why we are all here together, to share ideas, to learn, to connect, so that we can build that community that will build the movement to where we want to go. So we have an amazing slew of speakers ready for you here this morning. And before I introduce them, I have one invitation that I want to give you. And that is, I want you to close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to fast forward into the future. And I don't mean 10 years from now, I mean like 3 days from now, when you're heading home from this event. It's just come to a conclusion, and maybe you're driving 10 miles up the road, or you're on a plane flying 10,000 miles to wherever you came from. And while you're there, you're reflecting back on the feeling that you feel around what this event created for you, what it created inside of you. And I want you to hold on to that for a moment right now. What is it that you want to share about the days that we spent together here when you go back home and share it with your community? And now when you think about that story that you want to share about the INC, there's probably something more that you need to be in order to achieve that. Maybe you need to talk more. Maybe you need to listen more. Maybe you need to be bolder, love more, be more judgmental, less judgmental, hopefully not more judgmental, right? Be less judgmental. What is that thing? So tune in right now. What is the one thing that you need to be in order to create the outcome that you want to have when you leave this event in a few days? And commit to that. Make that commitment of what is that one thing. And I invite you, if you feel comfortable and confident, to turn to your neighbor and share, what is that one thing? I'm here to listen more. I'm here to learn. I'm here to speak more. I'm here to be more bold. What is that one thing? Go and take a moment and share that with each other. And let's hold each other accountable to be everything that we need to be to create this event to be exactly what we want it to be. Beautiful. This is how we begin to come together, folks. All right. Go ahead and find your seats one more time if you've been moving around. So we have got an incredible lineup of incredible speakers who are going to create a beautiful event for us this morning. And right before we come together and I introduce the first three speakers, I want to bring us right back to our breath. So we're going to do it on three, just like we did before, and make a nice loud sound on the way out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Inhaling. All right, are you ready to get started? Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to open up with some invocations to get the space created and the container created for what's going to drive the next few days together. So I want to introduce to you three beautiful folks who come out one right after the other. First is Joy Whittle, followed by Fernanda Ibarra, followed by Vuja Diaz. Let's give it up for all three of them.